Hi, my name's Joe. I damaged my leg and ankle 6 weeks ago in Spain, racing on a jet ski. With an impact damage, I broke 3 bones in several places. It was my tibia, my fibula and my talus bone. I had a couple of reconstructive surgeries. Initially, I had an external fixation done in Barcelona. I was then flown back to the UK, where I had x-rays and a CT scan, which resulted in another external fixation just to try and correct the bone structure, with the intent of having an internal fixation and furthermore this external cage. I've ended up with a couple of plates on the bottom of my shin and a number of screws either sides of my ankle, trying to get the bones back into the right place and aid the growth and fix really. I've got the external cage that's helping to pull the joints apart just to allow for extra movement. I mean, with this kind of injury, it's quite common to get a lot of scar tissue on the cartilage, which results in poor movement in the joint and can be quite painful. I mean, I really recommend these cages. I mean, for me, it's allowing me to move around the house. I'm more than capable to go out for a ride in the car. I'm able to walk up and down stairs. It's really made my life a lot easier than I initially thought, to be honest with you. I mean, I'm sleeping well. Yeah, I mean, it's not half as uncomfortable as I thought it'd be, to be honest with you. I've had my first day in physio today, doing numerous stretches, bits and pieces, doing some minor leg work in terms of weights, just to feel the resistance against my muscles in my leg, trying not to have too much deterioration in my calf and bits and pieces. So yeah, I mean, it's feeling really positive, to be honest with you. It's quite nice to be in the studio and actually doing a bit of movement. I mean, you're a long time sat at home resting and having your leg elevated. I mean, you try and do a few exercises at home, try and do some walking, try and stretch my foot out, just to keep everything in check. But I mean, it really does help being in the studio and having the correct advice and being shown what to do, to be honest with you. Obviously, prior to the surgery, I had numerous meetings with Dr. Fenton. I mean, he taught me through the whole, I mean, in fairness, it was a couple of doctors actually, but I mean, Dr. Fenton taught me through the whole procedure. I mean, very clear, quite headstrong, yet this was the plan, this is what we're going to do, and this is what we intend to achieve. And yeah, I mean, as far as I'm aware, I've had an x-ray 2 weeks ago. I mean, it all looks perfect, to be honest with you. I mean, the state of this injury was pretty severe, and I think when they got me into theatre, it was worse than anticipated, but the operation went far better than they could expect as well. So it's worked both ways for me, really. I mean, it just so happens, I think, the way that I broke these bones, it's very complex. And I think with the damage to the talus bone, it struggles with the blood supply anyway. And I think luckily I've to be honest with you, everything has come back really, really well. I mean, on the x-rays, the leg bone looks really straight. There doesn't seem to be any decay or any damage to any dead bone, which they were worried about. So, I mean, the blood supply is there. Yeah, I mean, fingers crossed, it all looks really promising. Yeah, I mean, I came home exactly a week after my operation. I had a bar that kept my legs static. So just before releasing me, they removed the bar, so it gave me the movement in my ankle. I mean, that was quite a strange sensation at first, to be honest with you. There was a little bit of pain there. I mean, it was the first time my ankle had moved in 4 weeks. So, I mean, that night, to be honest with you, I was a bit uncomfortable regarding the sleeping and bits and pieces. In the morning after, there was a bit of stiffness, but one of the first things we actually did was took the booklet out of my little handbook and started doing some stretches. And you'd be surprised how that actually eased. I mean, I was in significant pain, to be honest with you, when I came from the hospital after travelling in a car for an hour and whatever, and my foot was dropping for the first time. So for me, it was the first movements and everything. But yeah, I mean, the morning after, I had a couple of tablets and, like I say, started working on the ankle. And yeah, I mean, it felt really good, to be honest with you. And from there, I mean, it took a couple of days to get into sleeping at home, if that makes sense. I mean, I was quite used to, I was in hospital for 4 weeks, so I was used to having an elevating bed. I was comfortable. I got to a stage where I was probably more comfortable in a hospital bed than I was at home, if that seems strange. I mean, at home you tend to have quite a very soft or a comfy mattress, if that makes sense, tailored for helping you sleep. But the problem is with an injury like this, even your duvet, the weight of having your duvet on your foot is uncomfortable. So it's when you find, it's little tricks. I mean, for me, I found leaving the duvet off my leg and just putting a lightweight blanket over me. I mean, that was more than helpful enough for me, because it stopped the pressure on the end of my toes and on the end of my feet, which was causing my foot to drop. So and then I created a little lanyard system just to stop my foot from dropping too far down. And to be honest with you, after probably 3 or 4 or 5 days, yeah, I'm sleeping really, really well. Yeah, it doesn't affect me in terms of, I mean, I can get up and go to the toilet. I'm more than happy around the house. Yeah, more than happy. Don't panic, to be honest with you. I mean, this is temporary. I'm big into my sports and extreme sports, and for me initially, it was a bit disheartening when I heard I was going to have this cage, and you automatically assume that's kind of the end of everything, and yeah, you start thinking a bit silly thoughts, to be honest with you. But it's all I can say is don't worry about it, don't panic. Don't rush anything. I mean, you've got to. The big thing I think is try the physio. Try as hard as you can with the physio, and you are going to get a little bit of pain from it, but it is beneficial, 100%. I mean, that small bit of pain in 2 days' time is completely gone, and the movement is significantly more. And it is like, for me, the first week was the hardest, and now, yeah, I haven't got a problem at all. Yeah, it's surprising how fast your body reacts and adapts and mends. Yeah, I mean, regarding travelling, initially that's a bit awkward. Like I say, the first time you step into a car, obviously you're restricted on space. You're used to having your leg elevated, so a compact space can be a bit more difficult. But you have to try and utilise it. I mean, for me, I found that travelling on the back seat of a car was a lot easier for me. I take a pillow with me, so I can rest my leg on the pillow. I mean, it's all about finding the balance for you. I mean, you don't want to be in an uncomfortable position, because it just irritates you and life becomes hell. So it's about finding the balance. I mean, now within 3 weeks of having the operation, I'm happy to sit in a car in the front seat with my feet flat on the floor, and it's not a problem. But if you'd have asked me that a week and a half ago, I'd have been in agony after the first 15-20 minutes. So it's all about finding what's comfy. Break yourself into it gently. Don't get in a car and think you're going to be able to drive for an hour and a half, because it's not going to be possible initially. But like I say, now I've been more than happy to do long journeys. I've been going out commuting with my girlfriend or with my mum. So yeah, it is just build yourself up and make yourself comfortable. That's what I'd recommend. Like I say, don't be scared to take a pillow, a blanket, because your foot does get cold as well. I mean, especially in this time of year in the winter. But yeah, don't be afraid to take comfort over your own pleasure, kind of thing. Yeah, you need heat, keep your body warm, and keep yourself comfortable, definitely. Modifications to your clothes, that's been one of the biggest things for me, because initially the only thing I could wear was shorts. Get yourself a pair of comfortable jogging bottoms, to be honest with you. I mean, these have been modified with just Velcro on the sides. Got my auntie to do it for me. And it just means you can get your foot through. I mean, these cages aren't the smallest of things. And getting your leg through to the leg hole's the worst bit. But if you can modify the sides, no problem. Yeah, I mean, it does help. Like I say, these are really quite warm, and you just feel a lot happier, to be honest with you. Going out in shorts isn't really the best thing for you. I mean, these, like I say, your leg's exposed anyway. So yeah, just keeping yourself comfortable and clean. It's all a positive thing, and it all helps your mind, and I think that's all you can do, really. To be honest with you, I've had minimal problems with those. It's quite common, I think, for people to get an infection in your pin sites and bits and pieces. So, it is really very important to keep them clean, not to mess with them too much, try not to poke and prod. there's always that kind of draw to it. I mean, I can't help myself if scabs you kind of want to pick, but yeah, try not to get too involved. You don't realise, and even a small infection on these pin sites is going to knock you back in terms of weeks of your muscle regrowth and everything. And life is genuinely more hard work. You want to keep it clean, keep it elevated, and like I say, try not to mess too much. I mean, people want to have a look, but it's human nature. I mean, there's a man over there with a great cage in his leg. Let's kind of have a look. And the thing, it's quite easy to go, oh yeah, have a look at this. I mean, it's quite therapeutic as a person to explain it to them. To be honest with you, this does this, and this X is doing whatever. But yeah, just try not to get too involved and dirty. Yeah, keep it clean. Yeah, I mean, definitely don't get disheartened by this. I mean, your injury alone is enough. I mean, I know it's painful, and like I say, short term, it's the worst thing that can happen to you. But realistically, I mean, it's nothing. I mean, it sounds stupid, yeah. I mean, for me, the biggest thing that I miss is being at work. I mean, I'm not used to sitting at home and whatever. I mean, it's okay for a first week or so, to be honest with you. But yeah, I mean, try and keep a positive mental attitude. I mean, this isn't the end of the world. And in fairness, these cages are the best thing you can do, or best treatment you can have for a severe break. So by doing everything on the list and trying to keep yourself positive, you're giving yourself the best physical chance in the future. So yeah, don't stress it. I mean, it is what it is. Your bone's broken, so all you can concentrate on now is healing it. As simple as that, really.
He's a superb athlete, and I want to welcome up, and everyone up, standing up for Joe Harvey. That's pretty spectacular, actually.
Yes. Well, it's been a framework, 3 operations, and yeah, ankle was shattered into 100 pieces, my talus bone, my tibia and fibia obliterated, so yeah, I did a good job.
You did, I mean, that was pretty special, actually.
I mean, like you say, it's all part of racing, and I mean, you never expect it to happen to you. But yeah, I'll be back next year and we'll see what happens.
I'm sure you will.